you're a crew member in the lifeboat.
Yes,
And,
20 years.
And have you noticed a lot of difference in the lifeboat over the last 20 years?
This one's a lot faster than our previous boats. Not as big, but it's a lot faster, more powerful.
What sort of power has this one got?
I think the engines are 485 horsepower each.
This boat came along in April 2003. The quest from a family over in England. The man himself, he had passed away, and when his wife passed away, they decided to leave money to the RNLI. So I think it was around about £900,000 they left, and that's why the boat's named Saxon. That was actually the man's middle name. He didn't live anywhere near the sea, but he always had an affection for the sea, so that's where I got quite an unusual name, Saxon.
How often would you, on average in a year, take the boat out to call out?
Normally the boat would be out somewhere between 20-25 times a year, so you're talking roughly once a fortnight over the year.
Could you tell me about your training and how you prepare for these shouts?
Yeah, training, we're out in the lifeboat once a fortnight. Summertime we go out on a Thursday evening for a couple of hours, and during the winter months we go out on a Sunday morning. At the minute we'll have a prospective crew member, so quite a lot of training going on to bring him up to a standard where he would be acceptable to join the crew and be a crew member, and basically go through all the boat systems. Shooting the anchor, we'll have salvage pump on board, we would run it, we'll have a small XP boat, it's a rubber inflatable boat with an engine. We use it to go alongside small boats or get close into the shore.
Now, could you tell me a little bit about the power and the range of this boat?
The boat has a range of 250 nautical miles, which we run on at full speed for 10 hours, which wouldn't normally be, we wouldn't need that sort of range where we are here in the Irish Sea.
So what would be normally the furthest out you would go, allowing for a return trip back?
Well, the furthest we've been on this boat, we were down searching for a fishing boat that we were on, went down, sunk off Kilkeel, and we were down actually the other side of Carlingford Loch near Donaghadee, down that direction. So that's the furthest we've been, or we've been across the Scots coast, Port Patrick direction into Luce Bay, or even up as far as Larne, you know. So that's the sort of range we have, and then all the other boats around that area obviously cover us as well, so all areas are well covered, you know.
Now, I'm looking at a lot of instruments and stuff here. Can you tell me about some of these instruments, and we'll just have a look at them?
Yeah, well basically we're up here in the upper steering position, and most of the equipment is the same as what you would have in the wheelhouse. Here we have the engine controls, 2 electronic throttles for your 2 engines, starboard and port engines. And here's the controls for utilising them, for making them live. At the minute these aren't live, but once the boat's running you can either have them in neutral or have them live, that once you put the boat into gear the boat will move off. Down here is a screen, a repeater screen for the electronic chart plotter that we have in the wheelhouse. It's basically a paper chart, the same as what you would have on a paper chart. If the Coast Guard give you a position for a casualty, you can mark it, and you can work out a range and bearing to that position. You can also turn it on to radar mode. As you can see here, we're in the confines of the harbour. But you can see just in the centre here, that's our position here on the south pier. And then that's all the boats sitting on the moorings. Also we'll have up here our ship's compass, standard sort of compass that you'd have on most boats. Here we have an autopilot, which, especially in heavy seas where it can be quite straining, steering the boat for hours on end, where you can put it on the autopilot and it'll steer itself. Moving on over here, we have the 2 rev counters for port and starboard engines. We have the helm indicator giving us the position of our 2 rudders. Over here, the LED screen for the trim tabs. As you'll see, you can put the bow up and bow down with the trim tabs depending on the sea conditions. Make the boat more stable and give her better way through the water. And over here we have our VHF radio for communications with Coast Guard, other vessels, for working with a helicopter on a rescue. And last but not least, we have here is our depth sounder. It tells us the depth of water below the keel. Also can be used to give you a speed. Obviously we're tied up alongside the wall in Donaghadee, so obviously we're not making any headway. And it'll give you the heading that the boat's moving in.
And all this is also down below, and the boat can be manned or controlled from down below if up here is not.
It can, yes. I say, normally would you just use up here for taking the boat off the berth or going alongside a casualty. You've got good all-round vision.
But on a passage you would down below.
You go down below. It's
There's
much
no necessity to be up here to look.
No, there's not. No, there's not.
Well, that all sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
I better go and let some of the other guys up here. Thanks very much.
John.
Safely home from the sea.